Welcome to Mastering the Numbers, your go-to podcast for a deep dive into the world of business and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Joe Mallo. Join me as I sit down with successful business owners to uncover their journeys, learnings, successes, and future plans. From market trends to personal stories of triumph, Mastering the Numbers delivers invaluable insights to fuel your own entrepreneurial spirit. So grab a seat and get ready to be inspired.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mastering the Numbers. I am Joe Mallo with Lead Edge Consulting Group. We're powered by Focal Point Business and Executive Coaching. In this episode, I have Sheri Nash. She is the owner of Forever Weight Loss. Sheri, thank you very much for taking part in the interview series.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, absolutely. For the audience, can you tell them a little bit about Forever Weight Loss and where you're located?
Absolutely. I'd love to. Forever Weight Loss is a weight loss clinic that's trying to help people get healthier, be a wonderful tool and part of their weight loss journey. We utilize the medications that many people have heard about already. We have the compounded version of Wegovy or Mounjaro. They're once a week injections that people can take. I'll teach them how to do it. We partner with them on great diet choices and hope that everyone can get a chance to feel healthier, feel better about themselves, all that good stuff. I started the business about a year and a half ago, thought about it for a year before I did. And I'm one of those souls, probably one of many adults that's had a lot of trouble over the last 20, 25 years with maintaining my weight. I swear I've gained and lost the same 50 pounds for the last, I don't know, 7 times in my life. And I was looking for something that might be sustainable, and I'm super excited to have the business.
I'm one of those other people that have lost and gained the same amount of weight over and over
It's
again.
crazy. I mean, you would
It
think we
is.
would learn, Joe.
We don't. We just never
Nope.
do. We never do. So, and your office is located where in Ohio?
Yeah, we're in Columbus, Ohio, very close to the Polaris area.
Yeah.
So we have a nice clinic here that people can come to and spend time with our doctor or myself. But also, the nice thing about the way I've set up this business is we can actually meet virtually and mail medications to people if they are in another state or another city. And we've built a fair number of clientele that way because of referrals. Someone calls their aunt or their cousin or whomever and says, "Oh my gosh, meet with Sheri at Forever Weight Loss," and off we roll.
Everything's changed over the last few years. I mean, going from 100% in person to sometimes 100% virtual.
Yeah,
So it's certainly made business easier, hasn't it?
it is. And it's interesting. In my perfect world, I would have the opportunity to meet all of our clients. For me, it's so personal, and I understand the scenario. And so I'm very personal, and let's be transparent and make it happen. But for those people that don't have the time or they can't, I love the fact that we have another way to connect, and I can
Yeah,
follow up with them. It's shocking how many people don't want to speak on the phone even anymore. They all want to
right.
text.
Well, that's true. But I always like that at the very least you can see someone face to face on
Yeah,
the computer.
agreed.
So, and this isn't your first company that you started. So we were talking about earlier. You're somewhat of a serial entrepreneur, right?
Some people keep telling me that.
So great. We're looking forward to hearing some good insight. So what prompted you to start this business after selling off your previous business?
Well, I'll start with I wasn't smart enough to sell Temperature Pro before I started this business. So that might be one thing I would potentially rethink in the future. I came from a family of entrepreneurs, and even my career after college and living the dream as a young person without a family, I quickly realized, Joe, that I was not the person that should be tied down with lots of supervision and lots of bosses. I did very well. Give me a project and leave me alone.
Right.
And so no matter what was happening in my world, um, even my bosses would say to me, Sheri, you're not cut out for this. You need to go figure out your thing down the road. Not that they ever let me go. I performed and did all the right things, but I just think they knew in their heart that I had a different pathway.
Right. So you're meant to be a business owner,
I think
which is
so,
good.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
And watching my family, that it felt like it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. Well, we need people like you out there starting businesses all over the place. So good. Well, what would have been some of the biggest struggles or challenges you've had to overcome? Whether it's with this business or whether it's previous businesses, either one.
It's sorry for the stutter. Earlier today, I was literally talking to one of my friends that's also a business owner, and he and I had an exchange about both of our businesses. We sort of support each other through a few different things. And the thing that we both sort of came upon briefly for what's the next steps in our business journey is that we need maybe even a little more courage to make those next best moves, because as much as we all want to be a business owner or succeed, it is a jump and it takes a lot of nerve. And that's the thing that I think courage is a big thing. Go for it. Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Make the decision and be ready to pivot. It's going to happen. You're going to have bumps, and just hold on for the ride is a huge, huge
Yeah.
thing. Also, I think one of the big things that's a win and can be a big challenge for so many of us is understanding cash flow. Everybody loves to talk about revenue and their top line and all of, how well they're doing, but it doesn't really matter what you're bringing in if you don't have the cash flow to hold on to it. And
Right.
what of that top line revenue are you holding on to? What's really in
Right.
your pocket at the end of the day? The rest sort of is almost like vanity, if you will.
Right. Exactly. Um, is there anything that you would do differently in starting your business or growing it over the last year? Not a different business, but just this business.
Specifically for this business, I made a couple of errors right out of the gate, which truthfully, I look back at it and I chuckle. I really want to roll my eyes at my own self because I made the same errors with my previous business.
Yeah.
So I am what you might call a slow learner. I felt and was so confident that we were going to succeed out of the gate that I immediately hired two people to work for me full time before I've even opened the doors. And I look back at that and I think everything I just told you is a big deal. I did it wrong times two. You know, make sure you have the clientele, make sure you've got everything in order. Is your marketing ready? We have this sense of as soon as I say I'm open, all of a sudden the whole world is going to be calling you because you have the
Yeah.
best business idea in the world. And now I've done it twice. I truly felt, oh my gosh, this is my big opening day. It's going to be amazing. And nobody has any idea who you are. And so I had to pivot quickly and made some changes. One of the women that I had hired, she and I decided we weren't the best fit for each other. She had a different idea than my vision. And the other one moved on to, a different role elsewhere. But it's shocking that that was a mistake I've made twice, hurt my cash flow, didn't help my profitability. And then for me, Joe, I then had somebody's success, their family, their financial viability on my shoulders,
Right.
which I take really, really seriously. So it just like tripled any kind of stress I had. And I don't know why I did it twice, but I did. And I think we all think it's going to be amazing immediately. And you kind
Yeah.
of forget the ramp up period.
Yeah. I've heard that before. So, tell you what, next before you start your next business, call me.
Yes, 100%. Or just maybe text me every year and a half
Yeah,
or so and say, hey, Cher,
there you
don't move
go.
here immediately.
I will. I will. So, how long did it take before you started the business? No, like you said, nobody knows about you yet. How long did it take before you started getting a more steady flow of clients coming in?
It was 90 days when I felt as though, okay, my business model is going to work,
Yeah,
but by no means could I call it a steady flow.
yeah,
What I did notice was that we were starting to get some interactions on our ads. We were starting to get some people talking about us on social media, or they were finally giving us likes to our posts,
right.
which typically doesn't mean very much, but at least I was being seen someplace within the algorithm.
Yeah,
It probably was not 6 months until I felt that I could turn to my husband, who, God bless him, supports me on every one of my wackadoo ideas. 6 months in, I turned to him and I said, we're going to be okay. This is going to
yeah,
work, and it's going to change the what I'm doing with my time, and it'll be profitable eventually. Not today, but it will be
right.
profitable, and it's going to bring joy to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm assuming that was a great feeling for both of you in that moment.
Yeah, 100%. And, I'm so blessed with my husband because that crazy man thinks I can succeed at everything, even when I'm yelling at him in that wifely way and saying, you've lost your mind. How could you ever let me do this again? And he's like, you've got it. You're good. He's the most calm, supportive presence ever. But I can tell you where we were, what I was wearing, when I said we will be okay. It's imprinted upon my mind.
Yeah.
And, now we're a year later, and I'm very grateful.
So, is your husband your biggest
It's
support person?
ridiculous.
Is
Yeah.
it? Okay.
And what's nice about him too, Joe, is he has skill sets that I could never touch. He's very analytical and quiet and, sort of, he has his own career. He's very successful at it, but he can do the things computer wise and back end wise that are not my forte.
Yeah.
Or I'm much more of a let's go do something and let's connect with people.
Yeah.
And I've got this huge idea. He's the person that helps me break it down into chunks and makes it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when you're growing a business, you have to have people with different talents that can fill in the gaps because no one person can do everything.
No, and that's probably the most shocking thing that I've learned, and that I often wish I understood it better when my parents had their businesses and they didn't show it to me. And I know why they didn't as a parent. They never showed me the drama and the stress and the oh no's. But a part of me as a adult, full grown now, kind of looks back at it, and they're in heaven now, but I look back at it and I kind of want to ask them, what the heck? And maybe I could have
Yeah.
skipped some of my roadblocks if I had understood this is normal
Yeah.
and these are the problems. But I 100% have so many people I've learned to count on, and I learned for sure the value of outsourcing.
Well, 100%. You need to
Mhm.
outsource or delegate to grow. I,
Yeah.
I say it all the time. So, what are some common misconceptions you hear from friends or family or people you run into about owning a business?
I think they think I have all the time in the world and tons of flexibility. I
Yeah.
love that you're chuckling. What they don't see is that I'm working often from 10 p.m. until 12:30 a.m. because family time's over. I didn't get the stuff done. I also think that they think that we are making a ton of money right away.
Yeah.
So, it's the, oh, you're a business owner, you're rolling in it type of mindset, I think I'll say. So, those are two things. While I might look super flexible and by owning a business and running it, I can step out and go to practices and doctor's appointments and I can do all of that. But someplace along the line, I have to make up for that too.
Yeah, for sure. So your working hours in the office, you're jumping back into the office from 10:30 or 10 to midnight. You've got other things going on. You have a family. How do you maintain, I've been talking about work-life balance for so long, but I know I've never really found it. And maybe that word doesn't exist. So I had a couple of people tell me work-life integration. And that and that,
Ooh, I
that made
like
more
it.
sense. And that made more sense to me. So how do you maintain that work life integration?
I'm still working on it for sure. One of my problems is I had no idea how much I was going to love being a business owner and love following my passion. And so I think we have we have six kids and I have three at home still. And I think if it was not for those beautiful children who I adore, I would probably work 12, 14 hours a day because it energizes me and it's fun. What I've learned though is I'm not very good at integrating, to use your word, the time frames during the day or during the week. So we've become masters at long weekends with the family, or I make sure that we do some kind of vacation 3, 5 times a year. And it's not fancy, it's not crazy, but it's everybody put your phones down. We're going to go do this, we're going to go do that. And it makes a huge difference because even for me, and I know this says more about me than maybe being a business owner, but if I even block off, like I try and have Monday and Tuesday be out of the office days, it's very, very hard for me to stay full on focused on doing that. So for me, I need to say it's a weekend away, even if away means we went to Springfield, Ohio to see the big statue thing. We went and we were away, and that's my best way of unplugging. That's probably sounds crazy to you, but that's how I do it.
No, it doesn't. Little long weekend trips are how we get by as a family as well. We spend tons of time with lacrosse during the summer, and then about right now, we finally free up on the weekends so we can get away. So it makes sense to me.
Yeah,
So
it's wonderful. And
yeah.
our youngest is 13 now, and they've hit that age where I'm pretty cool and they want me around, but they're not that interested in my full interaction with them all the time. That I'm like, guys, let's play cards or you want to go swimming? They kind of look at me with that panicked expression of, is she really going to make me do this right now? You know what I mean? Because they have their own things
Yeah,
too. So I kind of,
I
you
do.
feed it all in there.
Yeah, I've been there as well with our kids. How do you, with everything going on, six kids, everything, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay focused to continue to grow and make the business more successful?
For me, it is all about setting my kids up for success down the road and giving them a hand up. I'm not under any false impression that any of my kids are going to think running a weight loss business is going to be amazing, or no matter how this changes down the road, but they're learning and they're in the office with me a lot. They're learning the steps to being an entrepreneur, or they're seeing the things that I'm doing that whether you're a business owner or work for someone down the road, they matter. And so I like that part of it, but I want to give them a hand up down the road when they're 25, 35, who knows? And that they won't struggle so much to do whatever their dream is. And so that's my eye on the ball.
Yeah, I think that's a great reason to be motivated. So it's as good as any. Um,
Thanks.
so another question on the business itself. How do you, I mean, I do hear a lot about weight loss clinics and then those new medicines. How do you personally stay ahead of the competition out there?
Well, I think this is one of the reasons that my ongoing adult weight yo-yoing thing might be a benefit, if you will. I am a super open soul, and so what I think I've done different for sure is two different things because I really do monitor my competition pretty effectively, or as well as
Yeah.
I can. I am all about being real in the world about my journey, my successes, my losses. And so all over the internet, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, there's videos of me right now talking about how, I ate half a family size bag of M&Ms the other day, and that's okay. And this is what I'm going to do about it. And if you've ever done that, call me because I've got a tool to
Yeah.
help you.
Yeah.
And so I am who I am and I make it real. And I think that's a big thing. The other thing that I hope and think is different about me and my clinic, our clinic, is that who you're talking to right now is 1,000% the vibe of everything I've ever built. This is, if you were with my old business and you were a client calling in, you'd hear me saying ridiculous things like, hey, it's so great to hear you. Your voice is super, and just ridiculous concepts. And I do that. It's just who I am. And I think that has made a huge difference because people are coming to talk about uncomfortable things. Nobody is proud
Yeah.
of where we're at if you're coming to see me with my problems. So it's just real. Let's be human and do this together. And I think that's very different. It has really helped me from a referral standpoint.
Yeah. I think people gravitate towards others that are real or who are genuine. So so you have that, which is great. So
Thank you.
the business itself, where do you see it in the next 12 to 36 months?
At first, I thought you were going to say 12 to 36 years, and I was going to say I am going to be on the beach.
Yeah.
So I think, well, my goal, I have it all written down. And, I was told many, many years ago, write it down to make it happen. So 12 to 36 months, we will have expanded multiple times over. I will have expanded actually what we're doing and how we're working with clients. And, my hope is that we'll be able to expand it to a couple of other cities, the model we have, not just, hey, we have medicine, but the model we have. And
Yeah.
essentially, I've made a big difference for people.
Yeah, great. What's some of the best along the way? What's some of the best business advice anybody's ever given you?
How dare you stump me? Let's see.
I had to do it eventually.
Yeah, what the heck?
I was
We,
trying.
um, I have had people tell me, and I followed it very effectively, is don't be too proud to ask for help. And don't be too proud to reach out to those people you're developing relationships with and get real. And I will tell you, within the last year and a half, I had to take that advice and I held off on doing it. But I finally reached out to two people that I know from business. They weren't lifelong friends. I would call them good business friends. And I got real honest with some of the struggles I was experiencing. And first, I said, let me tell you my emotions about this, and then we're going to dig in. So they let me spout off my dramatic, oh my gosh, this is going to be horrifying. They let me do all of that. And literally, and then this gentleman said to me, are you ready now? And I laughed. I said, let's go. And God bless these people just because they had faith in me and I've developed a relationship. They truly spent 6 or 8 weeks meeting with me regularly and helped to normalize where I was, figured it out, made a
Yeah.
plan, and I asked for help, and that's okay.
Yeah, I think you have to. I read an article about 2 months ago. I can't remember who the author it was, but it was the top 15 reasons why small business owners fail. And the top 10 in some form or way had to do with being too proud to ask for help.
It's
And
hard.
it is. It is.
It's
You don't want
hard.
anybody to know.
Right. And you always have to put a certain face on and all of that. But I'm very grateful, and this piece is for sure from my parents, that your network is everything. And I'm very grateful I was given the gift of gab, if you will. And so I was able to develop relationships with people that I trust and was willing to say, hey, I've got a couple real problems happening. Where do I go from here? And in my heart, I believe thoroughly that not a word was mentioned to anyone other than let's get going.
Yeah.
And I would do the same thing for someone else if they needed it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would tell everybody out there listening, if you're stuck or you're trying to get to the next level, ask for help. You'll be amazed. So final question for you. What advice would you personally give to somebody who wants to start a business? They're right on the edge of starting it, but they can't get themselves over the hump to start it.
I would make sure that they have the support of family, spouse, whomever, because it's always going to be more than you think. And then I would tell them to go for it and have very significant ability to pivot and have already thought about the what if this doesn't work? What's your next idea? Probably the smarter way of saying it is have plan B and plan C to keep your dream
Yes.
going.
Yeah, that's great advice. But Sheri, listen, I really, really appreciate you being on the interview series today. It was great to hear about Forever Weight Loss. If somebody out there is listening and they want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do it?
I think the best way to do it is to give us a call or even shoot us a text at our phone number. And that's 740-675-6751. Or pop on Facebook or Instagram. We're in there. Find us and shoot us a message. We'll get right back to you.
All right. Everybody out there, reach out if you're like me and you keep gaining and losing the same weight over and over again. So maybe you'll get a chance to get it off for good. So once again, thank you very, very much, and thanks for everybody out there that's listening. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Mastering the Numbers. Take care, Sheri.
Thank you.
You've just experienced another insightful episode of Mastering the Numbers. We hope you enjoyed the journey and gained valuable insights to fuel your financial success. Don't forget to subscribe to Mastering the Numbers on your favorite podcast platform to never miss an episode. And be sure to leave us a review to let us know how we're doing. Until next time, keep pushing forward and let your entrepreneurial spirit soar. Thank you for listening.